I didn't see the back of the shirt.
Right?
Now I got you. Yes, it is.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please rise. Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing and join the board in a moment of silence as we honor our veterans, our first responders, and our active military. And this week, we ask that you keep in your thoughts and your prayers the family of Sergeant Anthony Catalano, a longtime village resident, World War II hero who passed away this week at the age of 105 years old. Thank you. Is it somebody's? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a short work session and then followed by a public meeting. I'll entertain a motion for approval of bills and payroll.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by deputy mayor Sartori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Rivera.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Resolved to approve the minutes of the meetings of the Board of Trustees from May 6th and May 13th, 2026.
Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Casada. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Salaski. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Resolved to approve the removal of the posted time parking regulations on Plymouth Avenue between Roslyn Road and Hampton Street, and on Hampton Street between Colonial Avenue and Liberty Avenue.
Okay, and this is at the request and demands of the residents, so I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Deputy Mayor Sartori, seconded by Trustee Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Resolved to award the contract to renovate the kitchen at at Mineola Fire Department Company 3 to the lowest responsible bidder, Milcon Construction Corp., for a total of $85,500.
Finally, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by ex-Chief Clark and seconded by Honorary Chief Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Resolved to approve a license for Taxi 5 Star Corp. to operate 2 taxi cabs in the village of Mineola for a fee of $150 per vehicle.
Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Trustee Salaski, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sartori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I have a personnel item. Resolved to approve request by Raphael Bergovich and Charles Klein to execute the employee health benefit buyback option pursuant to the collective bargaining agreement.
Okay, they're entitled to it. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Deputy Mayor Sartori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Palumbo.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, request a resolution authorizing the installation of a handicap reserved parking space in front of 204 Andrews Road.
Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Trustee Salaski, seconded by Trustee Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And 2 personnel items. Request a resolution authorizing the posting of a labor position in the Highway Division of the Department of Public Works.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Deputy Mayor Sartori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And request a resolution authorizing the posting of a mechanic's position in the Central Garage Division of the Department of Public Works.
And this is to fill for retirement.
Yes,
Entertain a
both for
motion.
retirement.
Both of them are retirements.
Yep.
Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Deputy Mayor Sartori, seconded by Trustee Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Palumbo. Mr. O'Keefe?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So during the month of May, the building department continued to oversee construction activity, enforce local codes, and ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. During that period, the building department issued 90 permits and conducted 57 inspections. So following the issuance of the property maintenance letters last month, we continue to encourage all property owners to maintain their properties in accordance with village ordinances. Proper property maintenance plays an important role in preserving neighborhood character, protecting property values, and ensuring the overall appearance and safety of our community. Our collective efforts help keep the village of Mineola clean, attractive, and welcoming for residents, businesses, and visitors. Property owners who fail to comply with this applicable property maintenance requirement may be subject to the issuance of notice of violation and/or summonses. That's all I have for tonight.
Okay, thank you. And again, as a reminder, especially to our commercial, but also our residents, to, especially during this time, weeds and growth, to make sure that you please take care of that. And to our residents, if you see anything, many times the businesses clean the front of it, and the back may be facing the neighborhood, thinking of the CVS or the Walgreens, and certainly bring anything like that to the building department's attention. And sometimes a simple letter or a notice of violation is sufficient to get them moving. But obviously, we want to make sure that we take care of that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. O'Keefe.
Thank you.
Mr. Gibbons, anything?
I don't have anything, Mayor, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will entertain a motion to close the work session.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
trustee Clark, seconded by trustee Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It is 7 o'clock, so we're going to go right into our public meeting. And as I mentioned during the work session, asking for a moment of silence, you may have heard that this week, Mineola, the village of Mineola, and really Nassau County, and really our nation, lost one of the remaining few members of the Greatest Generation. If you had an opportunity to meet Sergeant Tony Catalano, who lived on the west end of the village, you would meet a real, live, walking, talking superhero. As part of General Patton's army, responsible for rescuing Dachau concentration camp, fought in the Battle of the Ardennes Forest, really just the accolades go on and on and on. And of course, living to 105 in itself is quite an accomplishment. We happen to have had a car parade for him just a few months back to celebrate his 105th birthday, and he was there, sharp to the end, and we certainly will miss him. I'm glad that throughout the years, and after he left the service, he was actually a air traffic controller at Idlewild Airport. For those of you who don't know, Idlewild Airport is JFK today. Before that, it was renamed to JFK Airport. It was Idlewild Airport. And he also spent a lot of time going into schools, educating our younger generations about sacrifices of military service and war. So his legacy certainly will live on. We'll miss him. Services are actually this evening, and I believe that his burial is tomorrow at St. Aidan's Church. So if you have an opportunity to pay your respects, that would be great. That's Sergeant Tony Catalano. On a brighter note, this weekend, this month is Portugal Heritage Month, and so we, as you may have noticed, on Jericho Turnpike, Mr. Palumbo's DPW staff has begun to, or has put up the Portuguese flags with the American flags, as well as the sign that renamed Jericho Turnpike to Portugal Boulevard. So we have the parade on Sunday kicking off at 11, right by Chaminade on Sayville Road, and it moves east on Jericho Turnpike, then south on Roslyn, and then east again on Westbury Avenue, finishing up at the Mineola Portuguese Center's annual fair at Wilson Park. The fair is there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The parade is Sunday. If you have an opportunity to come out, please come out and show your support for the Portuguese American community here in the village. We also will have a flag raising on Friday at 5 o'clock, which we've done for the last number of, probably for close to 10 years now. And that will be quick, just a brief ceremony in front of the firehouse, fire department headquarters on Jericho Turnpike. Nassau County is having, although it has nothing to do directly with the village, Nassau County is having a Portugal Day event that same evening, Friday, the 5th of June at 6 o'clock at the County Executive Building, where they will light the dome in the colors of the Portuguese flag, and there will be some recognitions of residents of Nassau County that have distinct, Portuguese-American residents of Nassau County that have distinguished themselves. And last but not least, well, two things. At 5 o'clock on Saturday at Corpus Christi Church, there will be two reasons to attend Mass. One is the parish is celebrating 125 years in Mineola. To put that in perspective, Mineola is only 120 years old, so the parish actually predates the incorporation of the village. And Father Tomas is celebrating 50 years at Corpus Christi Parish, which is unheard of for a priest to remain in one parish for 50 years. And although Father Tomas is officially retired, you wouldn't know that from the fact that he's always around everywhere. So if you could go down at 5 o'clock, pay your respects to Father Tomas, or celebrate Father Tomas rather, as well as the parish. That's at 5 o'clock at Corpus Christi on Saturday. And last but not least for me, so that I leave something for my fellow board members to speak about, is, and we've spoken about it here, we have tons of events, and I'll let some of my colleagues speak about those, but the one event that I want to continue to bring attention to is our World Cup watch party. Will be at Memorial Park on Friday the 19th, Saturday the 20th, and Sunday the 21st. There will be food trucks, vendors, activities for children, music, and of course a large screen for viewing. The United States plays at 3 o'clock against Australia on Friday the 19th. Brazil plays that weekend. Germany plays that weekend. I believe Sweden plays, Morocco, Haiti, Curacao. So that I think there will be 3 games each day. 3 games on Friday, 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. Come for one, come for all. Love soccer, you don't love soccer, it's gonna be great food. So great opportunity to come out and be with our friends. That's at Memorial Park on the 19th, 20th, and 21st. Deputy Mayor.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So we're busy in Mineola. I hope to see everybody at least something there. That's really what's coming up. I just want to go backwards a little bit. We've had great success so far with our concerts, both on 2nd Street and at the park. They were very well attended, great music. We had great weather, so it all worked out well. The next one is on June 12th, and it's a 90s band in the park. So in between Portugal parades and watch parties, we could go to hear some music. And then one other thing is, during the week, I actually went to a opening ceremony or grand opening of Coast to Coast Robotics. So I just wanted to welcome them to Mineola, say thank you for choosing Mineola. If anybody has children who are interested in any kind of robotics and building robots, and they have like pens where the robots fight and compete, and it's a really cool kind of STEM feeling to it. So I would suggest you check it out. And other than that, let's go Knicks, and hopefully I'll see you guys at an event soon.
Thank you. Trustee Casado.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. So this past Sunday, May 31st, Boy Scout Troop 45 held another Eagle Scout ceremony. It took place in the auditorium of Mineola High School, and I just wanted to take this time to recognize those 4 scouts that received this recognition. And they were James Condon, Andrew Leiter, Makesham Walters, and Kai Henricks. Again, an Eagle Scout, you can't get much higher than an Eagle Scout. A great achievement for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Clark.
Just with all these events that are coming up in the next few weeks, keep in mind the pool is opening up on the 20th,
Yep.
20th of June. So get your leisure pass, get ready, and enjoy the pool this summer.
Okay. Thank you. Trustee Silasky.
I just had 2 things that the library asked me to bring up. They are running a trip to Broadway to see Anne Juliet for $90, includes your ticket and your ticket to the show and on the railroad. So if you're interested in going to that show, go over to the library. I think Friday is the last day to apply for this, but go over there to see that show. And then also for $1, you can purchase a U.S. flag and they're going to line them up in front of the library to celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States. And you also can have that flag memorialized with the name if you so wish. There's a form over at the library. So if you're interested in any of these, please go to the library. Thank you.
Thank you. And mentioning the 250th birthday, on July 19th, the village will have our Liberty Festival, which will be at Wilson Park, where we will have a Billy Joel cover band, we will have fireworks, we will have cake to celebrate the 250th birthday of our country, and it just coincides with the final of the World Cup, who we don't know who will be in the final, but so it will be a watch party for the final of the World Cup, which is right here at MetLife Stadium, and we'll have a Billy Joel cover band, and we'll top it off in the evening with fireworks at Wilson Park. We can no longer have fireworks at Memorial Park because you may have noticed that Mineola Middle School now, the field is turfed, and therefore, fireworks and turf don't go together when the hot stuff lands on essentially what is plastic. So our fireworks from here on out will be over at Wilson Park, okay? That's on July 19th. And we'll have food trucks there as well all day, so you can have lunch, again, come for the concert, stay for the game, come for the game, stay for the fireworks. We'll advertise that as we get closer. That's on July 19th. Okay, with that, we're gonna open it up to public comment. I'll start with Tony Gadaletta. Mr. Tony Gadaletta, if you can please come on up. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it is.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good, thanks.
Now that we finished the road on Wellington Road, right, and we opened up the superhighway, right, we have to do something about the people speeding and blowing the stop sign on Garfield and Jackson.
On Garfield, heading in which direction? North-south.
Yes. Well, north-south is on
Jericho.
on Wellington.
Jericho to
From
First.
Jericho to First Street. And people below the stop sign on Jackson, east to west, and on Garfield, east to west. Right? I sat on my front stoop, which is 4 houses from Jackson. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I counted 15 cars in an hour and a half's time that blew the stop sign there. I didn't even, just both ways. And and there's other neighbors here that will attest to the same thing, going down towards Garfield and beyond, up to First Street. Right?
Okay.
It's gotten to the point where it's just gotten ridiculous. And we have 3 schools, right, in that area. If you want to count the high school, that kids walk up and down Garfield and Jackson, that's 4 schools, right? Somebody's going to get hurt. And this petition is to put you guys on notice now that if someone gets hurt, it's on you. Because we have to do something, you know?
Okay.
I said, the petition, you can see the petition, how many signatures are on there? That's everybody from Jericho to First Street, on both sides of the road.
Okay. I just got the petition. I'm gonna read it, and the first thing we're gonna do tomorrow is call the 3rd precinct, because as we know, we have a lot of responsibilities. Moving violations is not one of them, that we don't have the authority to do that.
Yes.
The police department, we don't have our own police department, but we certainly do have some influence in trying to mobilize the police department to at least sit on that corner for a time and do that. So that will be.
That's not what I was told.
I'm sorry.
That's not what I was told,
You weren't told,
but that we can get people to sit there.
we can, we've done it, and we'll do it again. Yeah. Right. Is there a specific time that,
During it, well, it happens all day long. But,
right,
but the thing is when school is in session, right, that's the most prevalent time,
Mhm.
right? Especially since the kids walk up and down the block there, you know?
okay,
We don't need, I heard of an incident, it was a couple of months ago, that a kid got bounced off a car on Jackson, right, heading towards Jericho, right? Luckily, nothing happened, from what I understand, but still, one is too many.
no, absolutely, we agree, and of course, safety is a priority for us, as I'm sure it is for the police department, especially considering, as you mentioned, there are 3 schools there, we all know that, there's a library there, there's a park there,
Yes.
there's a hospital, we're all aware of that, so, not to get back and forth, but in my experience, the police department, the 3rd precinct specifically, has been very responsive when we say, hey, we'd like you to focus on this area, and they will. Does it mean that they'll keep somebody there all the time? No, but maybe we'll change some behavior once people know that the police will be there. I can also guess, because I do drive down Garfield every single day, twice a day, to work at Mineola High School and back home, that probably the culprits are parents dropping people off at one of those 3 schools, or one of those schools, kids,
Chaminade
kids, Mineola High School kids.
Yep.
It is, and I've been here for 49 years, so it's not new. You know, Garfield has always been, from the high school into the heart of the village and into the heart of the school district, has always been a way for students, especially, I remember a time where Jackson Avenue was not one way like it is now, where Jackson Avenue, you could go through, and that thankfully changed, I think, for the better, where now it's one way from Sayville to Emory and one way from Sayville to Marcellus. But I'm old enough to remember when you could just fly
yeah.
down from Herrick's Road to Willis Avenue on Jackson Avenue, and kids did that. So, point taken, received, we'll look at it, we will share your concerns with the police department. If we have to put in, as we did in other areas, we just did it on Westbury Avenue, where we put those, we actually have a few of those speed cameras that tell you how fast you're going. It doesn't issue tickets or anything like that, but what it does, I know it works for me. Sometimes you don't realize how quickly you're going, then all of a sudden when it's flashing, it's saying you're going 45. It kind of makes you reset. I'm not saying that it's gonna solve all the problems, but if we can put any kind of tools at our disposal that will get people to slow down, think about it, whether it means more signs, whether it means, you know, these flashing, because it does give us data, right? We are able to withdraw data from it, and we can say to the police department, hey, in a 24-hour period, this recorded 83 cars going over 40 miles an hour. It does give us some data to take to the police department to say, you need to step up enforcement here, so.
Speaking of the speed limit,
Mhm.
I
Come up to the
looked
microphone.
at the speed limit for Mineola. It's
30
30
miles an hour,
miles.
correct.
Yeah, it's also 30 miles on Jericho and Old Country Road, which are like throughways, you know, during the day and a lot of other times. Is there any consideration with maybe posting a lower speed limit on these small residential streets?
So I know that by the schools, it's 15 miles an hour. You'll see that there are signs on Garfield by the middle school and in front of the middle school that say 15 miles an hour. Again, I'll have to look at the code, but 30 miles an hour for villages is pretty standard. That is pretty common in most municipalities, but I'll look at that.
It seems pretty fast on a
Yeah, I
on
think
a
if
residential
you go to
street.
neighboring communities, you'll see that most are in that 25 to 30
Huh.
mile an hour range.
The other thing is, I did some research on speed bumps and speed humps, and I just wanted to share quickly that, the statistics say that speed bumps or humps can reduce vehicle speeds by up to 40%. It compels drivers to slow down to a safer range. It eliminates the high-speed extreme speeding, because we've all seen it, Tony's seen it. I live at 185, and I work in the city, so I'm not there during the day, but on the weekends and when I'm around, there's a lot of cars that just, sometimes I get picked up by my husband from the train station. We park across the street because my kids are in the driveway. And just coming, getting out of the car and trying to cross the road to get to my house, you gotta be careful. Cars are just like zooming down, especially now that the street is like wonderful and straight, no potholes, whatever. So the concern,
Careful what you wish for.
the concern is now that, like Tony said, it's kind of a throughway. Another statistic that shows up is that, speed bumps or speed humps, which you can look them up. Speed humps are a little bit more graduated, and you don't have to really slow down. If you're going the speed limit, you can just glide over it. But it does keep people at the speed that they should be going. And it does reduce child injury and deaths by 53 to 60%. So, nobody wants a tragedy, especially, it's just unacceptable that could happen. So, all that to say, we drafted a petition. A lot of people, except maybe a few, signed that because there is a concern there. And we just hope that you would take that seriously, look at the statistics. I'm in favor of those speed things that light up your speed. I see them in Garden City all the time, okay? So, and it does make you think, oh crap, am I going over the speed limit? Yes, I am, let me slow down. I didn't realize that they actually gather information, which I think is super helpful, especially if the village were to approve a speed hump or a speed bump, that's your justification. So,
Yeah, we certainly are gonna take the information that you gave us
Yeah.
today, the petition, the research, but the first thing that we're gonna act on is the enforcement, right? That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And I know that there have been people here from other roads that are considered cut-throughs in that vicinity, with similar concerns and similar requests, and I know that people think that, nothing gets done. It's just that we have to think of all the angles and all the possibilities, but I certainly want you to leave here knowing that we do take it seriously, because safety is important. So we're going to look at it and see if we can mitigate it through enforcement, through measures that are perhaps not as intrusive as a speed bump or a speed hump right now, but that can do something in the meantime. Because those things are gonna take engineering, they're gonna take money, they're gonna take time. In the meantime, let's do something, if maybe not to bring it down 40%, maybe to bring it down 20% in the meantime. So we will act on it, we will do something, we'll do research, we'll look into it, and maybe even the police department will have suggestions. There are people who study this, traffic engineers and people who do this for a living, that will have information that we don't have, and that have solutions for us that perhaps have worked elsewhere. This is not unique to Mineola on Long Island.
oh, no.
No, it happens all over the place.
And just so that,
Unfortunately.
I didn't understand this until I did a little bit more research, that there are some speed bumps that actually are put in place and taken off in the winter, so
Yeah.
the plow, that's not a consideration with the plow situation,
See,
so.
You don't watch the channel, because I've mentioned that here.
Oh, okay. I'll put that on my
Well,
list.
We are aware
About
of that.
speed bumps, when we came about the road the last time we were talking about it, right? And somebody has to be the first in Mineola,
Right,
right? So we're looking to be the first in Mineola.
okay. Well, you're here. It worked last time.
Yes, yes.
Right? You got the new road, now you're complaining that it's too smooth and people are speeding. You're
Well,
gonna get
well,
your
people
speed
were
bumps, you're gonna come
speeding
back and complain that you're ruining
People
your
were
car.
speeding before the road was done. It's just that the potholes kept them in check, because they had to go around the potholes.
So I have seen in some countries, what they do is they have artists come in and they paint potholes onto the ground that are not real potholes, but they act like a mirage, so we'll consider all
We had one of
aspects.
4 things we were gonna ask for. Either the speed bumps, the cops to do that, right? Speed cameras, or put all the potholes back on Wellington Road.
Two out of
could go
four.
for that.
2 out of 4. 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4, that's not bad. Those are Hall of Fame numbers, okay? We'll get you the cops, we'll get some speed cameras there. They're not cameras, I don't want people to think they're not filming you. What they're doing is they're gathering information, and they are solar powered. No, they're battery powered, they're battery powered. And we have a few of them. I think they are up on Westbury Avenue right now, but we can move them. And that's the other thing, once people know where something is, it's like when you know that a cop is there, you know the cop is there. That's why we kind of have to keep them guessing and moving. And it's unfortunate because, and I'm not trying to generalize, but we know that the chances are that many of the culprits are our neighbors.
Yeah.
They are the people that live around the block, down the block, across town. These are not people that are coming in from Jersey who are speeding down Wellington. These are people who are just dropping kids off, running from one school to another. And I will say this, and I've said this a bunch of times here, I can't get myself in too much trouble with the school because now I'm retiring. But when they went to this new reconfiguration of the school, as a parent of 3 kids, I had 3 kids in 3 different schools throughout their career. So one ends at 208, one ends at 228, the other one ends at 254, and I have to go from Hampton to Jackson to the high school. What am I doing? I'm speeding because I'm in a rush, and I'm trying to beat the buses, and I'm trying to, so, and I'm not saying that the reconfiguration is to blame for this, but it is a contributing factor, as it is the wear and tear on the roads. I went to Jackson Avenue. I walked. My friends went to Hampton. They walked from kindergarten to 6th grade. Now, you go to Jackson Avenue for 2 years, you go to Hampton for 2 years, you go to the middle, and you have to get, kids from Garden City Park go to Hampton Street School. Kids from Mineola go to Meadow Drive, right? And they have to be bused. And those buses, they weigh a lot, and wear and tear. Now, you add Chaminade to the equation.
Yep.
You add the middle school to the equation, and you've seen all these bus loops that the district has built. There were no bus loops going to school because there were no buses. You walked, and if you had your older brother who was in 6th grade, he walked the 1st grader to school. They held hands, they had the crossing guard. Now, the 6th grader's 3 schools away, the 1st grader is in one school, and the 3rd grader is at Jackson Avenue. So all of that compounds the traffic, the volume, and certainly the speed. But I digress. Okay? Thank you, Mr. Gadalero. Appreciate it. Anybody else? No, you have to come up to the microphone. People are watching this at home.
Oh.
Hopefully my wife's not watching. Yeah, I just wanted to add on what Tony was saying. It's Garfield around 4 o'clock in the afternoon to like about 6:30. Coming off of.
Garfield going which?
Going.
East-west?
Now you got me, I'm not good at that. Going towards Roslyn Road,
Okay.
let's say, am I right?
Yeah, towards Mineola
Going east.
Boulevard,
Well,
towards,
Going east.
What they're doing is they get off of Jericho Turnpike and it's a cut through. So all they're doing is they're cutting it because traffic gets backed up. They get onto Garfield and they go up Garfield past Mineola Junior High.
but
They
that's not
shoot
making
up
sense.
that way.
Garfield
They-
doesn't intersect with
Well,
Jericho.
It goes to Harris.
What I'm talking about is the middle school.
Okay,
Okay, that's Garfield is the middle
Right.
school.
right.
They hop off of Jericho
Onto Emory.
onto Garfield, and they go up Garfield, passing on the left side Mineola Junior High. Okay, they pass that, and they're flying all the time. I don't want to say how old I am, but I'll let you know. Old Courthouse Road,
Mm-hmm.
there used to be a cop, and he used to sit right on the side there. And you knew he might be there. And to this day, I still stop at that because I think the cop is gonna be there.
See?
If you put a cop there, you don't have to do it all the time.
No.
You just do it once in a while. It puts it in their head, oh, there might be a cop there,
That's true.
and they'll
That's-
stop.
And that's what we'll do tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will call, good news is the Deputy Commanding Officer of the 3rd Precinct is a
Right.
Mineola resident,
Oh, they
as you
listen, they're
know.
good.
So I think, and he's your neighbor, so I think he will be interested in making sure that,
And as my
that we're
neighbors know,
safe.
I like to talk if you give me the spot. Can I just ask you a question?
Sure.
What are the plans for Old Mineola in that area? Is there gonna be a hotel? I know there's a lot of building going on with these luxury apartments and all these things.
We do not have any plans for a hotel. There are no
That must have been a
applications
rumor?
before the board. There was, I think I mentioned it here, there was somebody who did approach the board about building a hotel at the corner of First Street and
Yeah,
Mineola
there was a
Boulevard,
rumor
where
about that.
Yanni used to be, 8 stories, no parking.
Okay,
Obviously, that didn't go anywhere. That's not gonna go
And one
anywhere.
more thing, Mineola Boulevard, they had some nice restaurants, they're, trying to make it nice for retail. But if you start going down Mineola Boulevard, there's a hospital. Hospital medical building. I know this open build, there used to be a Chinese restaurant there, a Greek, souvlaki place, they're emptied out.
Yep, that,
And
there is a.
They're
pla-
gonna take over, and they're gonna
There-
put probably
no,
more medical
no,
buildings.
no.
I hope not, because
No.
that's a cancer.
No,
Once you open up a medical building for any retail, because I used to be in a retail business, once you open up a medical building, people get out of the car, they go to their appointment, they get back in the car and they go home.
you're
you
making my
kill a
argument
neighborhood.
for me. You're making my
kill a
argument for me.
If you go
Um,
down Mineola Boulevard to Franklin Avenue, Sears, it's now New York Langone. Everywhere you look, it's New York Langone. It's
Well,
like
I
enough
don't know if you
already.
read the newspaper yesterday, but there's a big story about that, and it's not in Mineola, it's in Melville. But I can assure you that the property that you're talking about, which is the old Yanni Japanese restaurant
Right,
where
right,
the
that's
souvlaki stop and all that, it is not being bought by the hospital. There's nothing being developed there by the hospital. I can tell you that there's a plan for that building that I think the community will like, and it will not involve any additional height on that building.
It's good, because you should really support the area for retailing, that's
Yeah,
what makes an area.
we try.
Small businesses are the backbone
I
of any
agree.
area.
I
Okay,
agree.
thank you.
Thank you,
My
thank
wife.
you. Okay, anybody else from Wellington or Garfield wishing to speak? I think we have, yep, come on up, Ms. Glassman.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I just wanted to say yippee, I love the street. It's done, it's gorgeous, and I just didn't know if you knew that Father Malcolm at Corpus Christi has mentioned more than once from the pulpit how thrilled he was with the village for getting it done sooner than expected.
You know, that's why we did it, right?
We need all the blessings we can get,
Yeah,
I guess,
right.
but that's it. It came
Present
out-
company included.
Yes,
Um,
it's terrific, it looks great, and it was done really well. So-
And you just reminded me of something, because I know when we started doing it, there was some press about every tree that was taken down will be replaced. Obviously, there were some beautiful, large trees that were taken down, but those very beautiful, large trees that were taken down were the ones that were bringing up the curb and the sidewalks and causing ponding and pooling and water in front of the homes of the people that were here to ask for a new road.
Which
So,
was me.
as I say, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. You can't regrade, resurface, repurpose a new road without taking care of what's under the road, which would be roots. We also took the opportunity to change out the connections, right? The lead service connections. So we're trying to do things in a way that makes sense. We will replant the trees. Will they be that big? And by the way, people will say, well, the trees that you're replanting, they're smaller. That's done purposely because 60 years ago, the people that were sitting here didn't realize that planting a swamp maple in a 3-foot utility strip was not a good idea. It was a good idea at the time. it wasn't a good idea 50 years later.
Yeah, I have
So
to
we're
think ahead.
trying to avoid doing that and buying trees that, you've heard wire-friendly trees, root-friendly trees, that make more sense. And there is a method to the madness. The trees will be replaced, they will grow. Will they grow to 50, 60 feet and, I don't know how many feet
I
in
might
diameter?
not be
Probably
here when
not.
that happens.
But we like tree-lined streets, we want tree-lined streets, but we also want safe streets. And we also want safe homes so that trees don't fall on homes. And not to belabor the point, but for every person that wants a tree planted, we have another person who wants a tree taken down because it drops stuff on their car or because branches fall on their house or their car or their yard. And we have to navigate this kind of bipolar request of trees, no trees, but every tree we cut down, we literally place over 100 trees every year. We don't just cut down trees for no reason at all. People
course
ask
not.
us all the time to cut down trees. We don't cut down trees unless they are diseased, they are dangerous, or they are part of a project that they have to come down. And then, consequently, we plant trees everywhere where there was one, okay? Sometimes we have to move it to the left, sometimes we have to move it to the right because it's a water line or a gas line or utilities have been moved, and we have to plant accordingly. But we will do that, probably this winter. Yep, this winter. Usually, trees are planted November, December, because they are dormant, to then, awaken in the
It
spring.
looks pretty right now, so eventually you'll get everything else in place, but it looks great.
Pretty
So,
nice.
thank you.
Mr. Casato's gonna bring out his roller skates to skate
idea.
down
I remember those
Garfield.
days.
Roller skates? He's got roller blades, though, the ones that are in line. That's what he, yeah. Okay. Mr. Taylor.
Just in time. My bedtime is at 8 o'clock, so. I work for Good Morning America. I'm not one of the kids at home. So I have to get up at 3 in the morning. But it's that time again. You talked about soccer before World Cup. It's World Cup every day for us over on 177 Westbury Avenue. Because we came here last year, I think it was, and you guys gave us the little tennis net there. Like, we need something like the baseball ones, like really high. Or we're thinking maybe the lights. I don't know when the lights were supposed to go off, but those Olympic Stadium lights, they go off at 11 o'clock a lot of nights. So people are still over there, and it's not the people that are supposed to be there, but like adults, whatever.
Okay.
Then after they're done at 11, they come knocking on our door. Can we find our balls? Like sometimes there's 5 balls over there. And they think it's normal to just come and knock at your door at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, somebody came knocking on the door. We tell them it's 10:30, 10:15. Like, what are you doing? Our kids are in bed, whatever. He got mad, cursed at us, went back in his car. He had a muscle car, so he started revving it, honking the horns, whatever.
An adult, I assume.
An adult, yeah.
I'm sorry.
The kids are cute. Like, they come over, it's daytime usually,
Right.
whatever. But then you have these grown men, whatever, 10 o'clock at night, 9:15, 9:30, they're just walking around. Even the people with like dogs, big aggressive dogs, they're still trying to go in their neighbor, like in their house and trying to get over there. I'm like, what are they doing?
There's an old adage, you can't fix stupid, but we're certainly gonna try to, so do we have security on? When does security start for the pool? They start the 19th, okay.
When does the lights go off?
So
When
we're
are
we're
they
gonna-
supposed to go off?
10 o'clock.
Oh, it is
So-
that late, 10 o'clock?
So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna
Yeah.
talk to the MAA, because the MAA has permits. The only people that have permits is the Mineola Athletic Association.
And when do they go on until, like, the
So
kids are?
I don't know their schedule. I know that they
Yeah.
have hundreds of kids that play in teams, and so
felt-
I don't
felt like it was
know.
9:30. I don't know if anyone here has.
But we could certainly look at that, and if shutting the lights off,
Oh, wow. Thank God my
Right.
kids don't play soccer. All right, cool.
so we'll look at that, and certainly, you're right. I think it's like anything else. If you build it, they will come, and if you turn off the lights,
That's
they will
what
stop
happens, yeah.
coming.
So crazily enough, sometimes it is dark over there,
Right.
and they're still over there. I'm like, do they have their flashlights out? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah,
So there's
obviously, as the spring is coming out, but only people that are permitted, we also don't wanna discourage kids from playing on our fields.
But
During
these
the
aren't
day,
kids.
right, these aren't kids. If these are adults, probably not
Not
from Mineola.
That's the thing, like, I think these people are like coming from like Brazil to come play
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
The field is too good.
Probably not from Mineola. Again, careful what you wish for, right? So we have smooth roads, people speed, we have brand new
Well, do we have
fields,
any
people play.
fences anywhere later on? Because if you make the fences high,
Right.
like when we bought the property, they had a football, it wasn't nice, but it also had a high fence, so
Right.
nobody could just hop
Okay, so
over.
let me talk to
My
Mr.
grandma could hop
Palumbo.
over this fence.
Let me talk to Mr. Palumbo. Let me talk to the MAA. I know that one of the suggestions that we had is to move the nets, because people are creatures of habit.
Wait,
and
the
they-
soccer nets?
Soccer nets, to move.
Yes, I second that motion. Because the thing is, the soccer is right next to our house.
Your house.
So does anyone else complain about this to you? Like,
No.
let me see? All right, so maybe move it to another house then.
Right.
Because the balls go over everyone's house.
Right, 'cause-
But we're the only ones, I guess, that goes to bed at early.
And I
so
think
we're the
it's,
only ones
you know,
bitching.
if
So
I-
move it over a little, like
If I
two
put a
houses over.
basket here, then I'm gonna shoot this way, but if I put a basket here, I'm gonna
Right.
shoot this way. And what I've told the MAA to do is to put the nets and lock them up facing east-west rather than north-south. It's not the 6-year-olds that are kicking the ball over the 12-foot fence.
Yeah.
It's grown men.
I mean, sometimes the kids do it on purpose, but that's okay. It's during the day. I'm in the backyard
Right,
and
right,
whatever.
right.
They
Yeah,
come. It's fine. One day I was actually over there trying to garden, and I heard the girls moving the fence, but they put it against the fence, and then they said the lock was missing. So then
Sometimes
they
they
didn't
may
lock.
cut
So
it,
it's
right.
either missing or they couldn't close it or whatever. So sometimes we see it still turned the right way.
Right.
And even if you turn it the other way, it still can work as a goal.
As a goal, right. even if
Because
you
they
try-
don't care, they're
So
just
we're
gonna,
we're
like,
gonna ask them
whatever.
to move it all together. I think if we move it to east-west, I know it's work, you know, I'm a coach and I've been coaching out here for 4 hours, it's 10 o'clock, I wanna go home. I
Yeah.
don't wanna take the extra 10 minutes of moving the net and locking it up
Well, I
this
need to
way.
work out, so I'll go over there and help them.
No,
if they wanna
well,
move
I
it.
I
So let me
appreciate
know.
that, and as I've said to you and your wife, I think this is the second or third time
Yeah.
you've been here, you don't deserve this, and we certainly don't think that you should be, it's one thing, again, on a Sunday at 2 in the afternoon, an errand ball goes,
Yeah.
you bought a house next to a soccer field, you get that. 10 o'clock at night, shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening, and so when we have the security on, we'll call the cops, right? Because sometimes people do get aggressive. We have a security guard who's not armed, goes there and they tell him to go, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. He calls the cops, and then, again, like somebody mentioned, all you need to do is once or twice, and once the word gets out, hey, this is not a field that we can go do this on,
Yeah.
you know, then that would be, something. And again, I'm sorry you're going through this.
Yeah.
If it's a higher fence, we'll look into that. If it's moving the nets, we'll look into that. If it's enforcement,
Well,
we'll look into
the
that.
moving the nets, I think, is the easiest thing right now,
Right.
so maybe
Yeah, that's.
tomorrow after you
That's
call
what
the
we'll do
police
that tomorrow.
department.
We're gonna make that phone
Confident
call.
of it.
We may make that phone call tonight,
Oh, that would be great.
okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Taylor.
As I said, I'm going to bed, so that would be great.
Enjoy, thank you.
All right, good.
Hope you rest up. Thank you so much. Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak? Sure, come on up.
I've been asked a lot, are we gonna do anything about the lights on Wellington? The lights
The lights?
on the road,
What's wrong with
because they're
The
very,
street
very
lights?
dim.
So I know that we are replacing all the lights in the village with LED, but progressively,
Yeah.
right?
Because a
And
lot of people.
so
walk-
eventually we'll get, my point is, so we started on the northeast, part of the village, like by North Shore Farms, and we kind of worked in a clockwise way. So we will get to, Wellington soon with, LED lights, so.
Because a lot of
brighter,
people have asked to
well-lit.
walk up and
Yep.
down, they could come home late and stuff, have asked me, what about the lights? Some of them don't work, they're very dim.
Okay. And again, if you ever have any issue with a light being out, or any issue, we have our My Mineola app or GoGov. You can put a complaint or a suggestion in there. It goes to the proper department, whether it's the building department, the DPW, the clerk's office, the water department. and then you will get an update on how that is going. Like it's received, it's almost like a support ticket for IT, where once they've solved it, they tell you the problem has. But a lot of time, we have 36 miles of road, we have 72 miles of curb and gutter, we have, thousands of trees, so we can't be omnipresent. A lot of times, just bring something to our attention, and then we'll address it.
Well, we went through this last year when we were talking about the roads, when you said we have 36 miles of road, and you missed ours twice.
What do you mean?
You missed our road twice to repair it.
I don't follow.
The lady who lives on the corner said it hadn't been done since 1955.
That's not true. That's
We
not
have
true.
it.
I have the
We
list
have
of
it
every road in the village and when it was last done, every date, and
I've
there's
been-
none,
I've been
there's
on
none
Wellington
later
Road
than
for
the
37
1980s.
years, right? And it hasn't been done in 37 years.
Well, 37 is
And
very
it-
different from 1955.
But
Right.
according to her, she was born and raised here.
Okay. According to our records.
Well,
that
your
wasn't the
records
case.
are wrong, man.
Okay.
Okay.
But you have a new road now.
Yes, we have a
Okay.
new road now.
Okay.
But we even have a guy that's been here for over 50 years who's lived on it, and it hasn't been done.
That could be the 80s.
He lives on the corner, up by Jericho.
Okay.
Just tell him, just let me know.
Okay.
So you should check, because your records, they, with water lines and everything, they say this was here, and this was here, and it wasn't true. So your records for the road weren't true either.
Okay. We'll keep it at that. Anyone else wishing to speak? Okay, yep, come on up.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
I am here because of the, I believe there was a petition, obviously over on Plymouth Avenue and Hampton Street.
Correct.
I am for it, but I wanted to know if there is a way of maybe having some form of a compromise, because I live close to Roslyn Road. As the population is growing, my husband commutes and walks to the train station and has noticed people are willing to, not to our street, thankfully, because of the street, because of the parking sign, but they are willing to walk from the train station back and forth to Roosevelt Place, Cottage Place, Colonial Avenue, Westbury Avenue, and so forth. Compared, probably closer that area compared to, let's say, parking on Jefferson or all the other President Streets. Is there a way of, which I didn't understand why the unusual hour, I spoke to one of the neighbors and they were stating that 50-plus years or more, the reason why they had that is that there were factory workers that would park there and that they would put their garbage in people's lawns or curbs and whatnot. I was like, oh, okay, I thought it was because of the school, because of the closeness of Hampton Street School. Now that the population is growing, people are willing to find any parking spot for free, and they're willing to walk from our, not specific our street, but Colonial Avenue and so forth, to the train station. And also, I've noticed as the population grow with the apartments, obviously, if you are renting an apartment, one-bedroom apartment, for example, and you have two grown adults each with a car, but you only have one parking spot, because now you see them getting closer and closer to our area, I'm afraid that they'll take that, our area, whether it's Plymouth, Colonial, et cetera, parking there. Whether it's gonna happen or not in the future, I don't know. For all we know, anything could happen. Is there a way of doing alternating days? Reduce the 10 to 2. Make it 11 to 2, alternating days. So that is, one day will be north. The residents obviously can park there, and yet allow the south side portion of it, let's say 11 to 2, have the village sanitation do their cleaning. and then just do an opposite way. I'm not against removing it. I understand, because personally, I feel like we should all be able to park there, but I'm afraid of the commuters, especially if you're very close to Roslyn Road. Whether it'll affect those closer to Hampton Street or area closer to that I don't know. Plus also with the Hampton Street School, the 90 minutes, I think that's a bit much. That I should probably do, maybe either do a free parking of some sort, or do alternating also, as you see with President Streets, but do maybe an alternating, I don't know, maybe like 11 to 2, a scenario, or something to that effect.
So.
But I mean, if
I'm
they
try-
pass
I'm
it,
trying
then
to
so
follow-
be it.
I'm trying to follow you as much as possible. The best answer I could give is, we will give you guys whatever you want, right? As long as you come in with a petition with more than 50% of the residents saying that they
Right.
want alternate side or this side. Just understand that everyone has to compromise, because you're never gonna get what you want. So, older residents who's maybe empty nesters, have no kids at home, they don't care because they don't have kids jockeying cars. Somebody who's got, you know, an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old, and 22-year-old who are all living at home and they got 5 cars, they may need something else. So to answer your question, what we approved tonight is the petition that was submitted to us, that was signed by the vast majority of the residents. If you want to try that out for a couple of months and then come back and say, hey, can we tweak it? You live there, right? So we have no problem with that. What we can't do right now, today, is give you what you want, because next week we'll have your neighbor coming down here, no, I wanted 11 to 2, why did you do, 12 to 1? So I think what we do is we leave it now. We gave, I think, most of the residents what they wanted, right, what they asked for. See how that works, and then if it needs to be tweaked, because I will say, in my experience, whenever we change these things, the very first people to get tickets are the very residents who asked for the change, because they overslept, they forgot, they were on vacation, they were away, they told their son to move the car and he didn't move the car. It happens, right? So to answer your question, we, with you and with anybody else, when it comes to parking regulations, we usually have a pretty steadfast rule. It's whatever 51% of the residents want on the block is what we will do, realizing that it's like a balloon. You push down here, it pops up over here. And this usually happens with schools. When somebody buys a house across the street from a school and then they want the regulations changed, that only pushes the problem to somebody who didn't buy a house in front of the school, right? So that happens. As far as the parking from the apartments, I can tell you this, and this is a whole other argument, is every apartment that's been built has to have 1.5 spots per unit, and it has to be included in the rent. Like, people don't have the option of not getting a parking spot and then parking in front of your house. And I don't think that's happening. And by the way, our experience is that all of these apartments that have been built in the downtown are actually overparked, meaning they're underutilized. Most people commute to the city, they don't have 2 cars, if they have a car at all. I'll tell you where we're underparked. Where I lived when I first bought a home was at Birchwood Court. That is underparked, but they're not coming over to Colonial to go under the underpass and all that, but.
Probably not, but more probably I'm wondering about outside commuters.
I mean, can somebody drive in from Roslyn and park on Colonial and walk to the train station to save $6 parking at the intermodal center?
I actually saw it myself personally.
Maybe, listen, people park.
I believe it or not, I actually saw it.
Maybe.
And my husband also sees it much more so than I do.
Right.
And I was just like, wow, you park here just to go, you could have gone to either the appropriate garages that are available, or maybe go to what I call the President Streets, which is much closer.
So as far as the parking regulations, we approved it during the work session, as you heard. So we're gonna stick to that now. Have a conversation with your neighbors. If something needs to change, don't come back next week. Give it, the summer,
Do a
school
test
year.
run. I call it a test run.
Let's do a test run,
Wait till school
and
starts.
then we could tweak it. We've done that in the past too. We've tweaked it, and we have no problem with that. Okay?
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Thank you.
Thanks, Virginia. Anybody else?
Just wanted to confirm that the removal of the parking
right, Brian? Yes. So we voted during the work session, resolved to approve the removal of the posted timed parking regulations on Plymouth Avenue between Roslyn Road and Hampton Street, and on Hampton Street between Colonial and Liberty, right? That's what you guys want.
Excellent. Thank you.
Oh, Tony, they clapped. They clapped. No, they clapped for me. Well, for us. Okay, anybody else?
Well, you have to give DPW a little bit of time to remove the signs,
Yeah.
but once
And
they're gone, you can park on the
we're-
street.
We're not enforcing it. We're not enforcing it. So even if you see the signs up until we get, we're a little busy this weekend and this month, so even if the signs are still up, we're not enforcing. This is now in force, okay? So we voted on it tonight, so no more. So even if the sign is physically there, nobody's gonna get a ticket, okay?
Does that include the removal of the 90-minute on Hampton Street as well, or just the Plymouth?
I don't know.
Yes, Hampton Street between Colonial and Liberty.
Yeah.
It's included.
Yep. Yep. I just do what I'm told. Thank you, guys. All right, and we'll see how that works out. I'll entertain, and anybody else? Nope, okay. I'll entertain a motion to close the public meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Deputy Mayor Sartori, do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Salaski, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Come out to the Portugal Day Parade on Sunday, 11 a.m. on Jericho Turnpike. Thank you. Have a great night, everyone. Happy summer. Miss Glassman didn't get her front row seat as usual, you know? You had to-
late today,
Yeah.
She walked in, she's like, where am I sitting?
Who are these people?
Yeah, we won't do that again. That was Linda's idea.